Advice on getting an entry-level mining job. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today I just want to have a quick chat about how the different advice people give you to get into the mining industry leads down a different path of mining employment. So if we have a look at a pretty standard post that gets put up, this is one from a while ago. This is somebody just asking a question about what they think that they could get into. And if you go down through the list, the people offer varying answers to what's going on. And so if a person tells you to go and get your confined space ticket, you're working at heights, your gas testing, all that sort of stuff, then that person's suggesting that you should go and work in the shutdown side of the mining industry, where you need all that very specific stuff. Whereas if they tell you to go and get a dump truck ticket and you're S11, they're probably suggesting to go and get into the coal area of the industry in Queensland, because that's the requirements for coal in Queensland. What happens is that people get their wires crossed. They think that it's a one-size-fits-all, but within the industry, depending on which job you're targeting, really does depend on the way you sort of approach it. So if you're trying to get into Hardrock Underground, then obviously we recommend that you do one of the sponsors' training packages, so you get your mining knowledge up to speed, and also so you can get your resume up to speed as well. So this is an example of a resume that you'd send into a Hardrock Underground job. And as you can see, there's not a lot of tickets on it. It's all experience based and it's not very long. Whereas if you were trying to get a shutdown job or work in construction or even trying to get onto a coal mine in Queensland, then this is the type of resume that you'd send in. And as you can see, it's heavily ticketed oriented. Now, the thing is that in Hardrock Underground and Hardrock on the surface, all the mines have to issue their own on-site tickets for the equipment. So they can't import on any of these R2 tickets. You can use them in shutdowns on a mine site, or you can use them in construction on a mine site. And like I said, coal in Queensland also uses them. But for all the other hard rock mines around the country, they've all got to issue their own on-site ticketing. So when you send a resume in like this to a hard rock underground mine, it normally gets culled in the first round, because all you're screaming to them is that you don't know how their mine works. Like I said, this is a perfectly acceptable resume if you're trying to get into a shutdown job or a construction job on a mine site, but it's not going to get you very far to get into a dump truck roll underground or a nippers roll underground or something like that. You've got to target what the employers want. So if you type underground into Seek, you'll see all the jobs come up. And when you go through the jobs, all the nipper and truck driving jobs are entry-level roles. But if you click on them, and we'll go down a little bit further and have a look at McMahon's, they're looking for experienced people. But at no point, they're looking for a HR driver's license. Most of the places are looking for just a C-class license, but nobody's looking for a dump truck ticket because they can't use it. If we go back and have a look at the Kalgoorlie one, and it's the same type of ad, the same thing. They want people that have got demonstrated experience on that sort of truck, but realistically, they're probably not going to find somebody with the truck driving experience that they want, because anybody that's been driving a truck for 6 to 12 months isn't looking for another truck driving job. They're looking for a service crew job. And the same thing goes for the nippers. Anybody that's been nippering for 6 to 12 months isn't looking for another nippers job. They're looking for the next rung up the ladder. And it's important to know that. So when you're looking for a job, it's important to understand the advice that you're given to target a specific area is only for that specific area. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make constantly over and over again is they get one resume like this and then they try and target all the jobs off that one resume. That's just not going to cut it. The other thing that I see people do is to believe the old wise tales that go round. Like, all you have to do is you can get on as a shutdown worker and then you can graduate to a mining role from there. the chances of doing that are very slim. And, you know, if you're the person watching this and you've actually done it, congratulations, you're the exception to the rule. And I'm sure I'll get somebody comment in the comments below or on the posts on Facebook when this goes up that they did it. And like I said, you know, if you've gone from a utility worker into an underground mining role or a surface mining role, or if you've gone from a shutdown worker into a mining role where you're actually driving a truck or working in the actual physical mine, then you are the exception to the rule. Most people don't make it that way. They make it very hard for you to get out of the stream that you're in. So normally, whatever you start in mining as, unfortunately, you continue on in that vein. And it is hard to move around sometimes. The people within the industry want to pigeonhole you because you've already got that experience in the industry, and there's a lot of baggage that comes with some of the jobs to move over to different jobs with some of the bosses. So not everybody's a fan of people that have done shutdown work coming onto their mine site as a full-time employee because they've had bad experiences with shutdown workers in the past. I mean, between 2000 and 2010, you'd have to give the speech in the crib room, in the morning meeting when we had shutdown workers on site that, remember, if they hit you in the bar, then you're flown off site and you lose your job as well as they do. So it's probably a good idea to give the bar a miss for the next couple of days while they're in. And because that used to happen regularly back in the day. You know, shutdown workers would come to site, they'd run amok because they'd only be there for a couple of days. And, you know, if they didn't cost people jobs, then it meant that, you know, you couldn't have full strength alcohol anymore, or you couldn't drink on the plane ride home anymore, or whatever happened because of, you know, those people that were on site for a short period of time. And, you know, that baggage unfortunately gets carried around, and people, you know, when they find out that you've come from a particular area of the industry, not everybody's mind is open to that. And so when you get advice saying, oh, start off doing this and then go to that, you know, that can be not great advice, to be honest with you, because like I said, if you want to get in as a truck driver, then, you know, apply for the truck driving roles, target everything that you can do to get one of those truck driving roles, and then move into it. At the moment, if you read through some of the comments on this Facebook post, people will say, oh, don't bother getting into dump truck driving because they're all going to get replaced by autonomous equipment. And in the iron ore mines in the north of WA and the coal mines in the north of Queensland, that's 100% true. They can use autonomous trucks to replace all the truck drivers on strip mines. The problem with pit mines and underground mines is that there's only one way in and out of most of those places, and all the autonomous equipment has to be used in an exclusion zone. So once you enter that exclusion zone, all the equipment has to be turned off. So that's why a pit mine and an underground mine, it's not really practicable to use the haulage system like that. But with the strip mines, which, you know, majority of the iron ore mines and lots of coal mines in Queensland are, you know, it's perfect for it. And the companies are doing that. But, you know, if you're looking for a truck driving job at the moment, you'd be mad to be looking anywhere else but at an underground truck driving job, because, you know, they need people everywhere all around the country, and they're taking people on as entry level. And like I said, you know, if you can show them that you know how their mine works and what's going to be expected of you on site, then a lot of these companies will pick you up as a new starter just because they've got nobody. This is a perfect example. This is entry level ground support in Kalgoorlie, and it's starting off as service crew, and, you know, that's a really good start. But you know, you'll have to show them that you know a little bit about what's going on, and B, you'll have to get yourself to Kalgoorlie. But there's just jobs everywhere, all over the country, that they need truck drivers for. And, you know, these are good packages. That's, you know, that's a week on, week off job, that one there. And you just go through and, you know, multiple jobs from the same employers, because there's multiple mines looking for people. But the whole point of this video is just to illustrate to people that, you know, if you want to get into shutdown work, then definitely, you know, go and do everything you've got to do to get shutdown work. If you want to try and get into coal in Queensland, then the S11 and, you know, a dump truck ticket's the way to go. But if you're trying to get in on the surface in Hardrock or in Hardrock Underground, then, you know, a dump truck ticket is a complete waste of money. What you need to do is you need to do something like the sponsors training, to be able to show the employers that you know how their mine works, because that's what really floats their boat. In the end, it doesn't take very long to teach somebody how to drive a Hardrock Underground truck. It takes a week, tops, maybe 2 at the most. But what it takes a lot of time is to be able to put all the information into somebody's head that they need to know about the mine, so you can leave them alone to get on with driving that truck. Until you can be left alone on site, your job's not truly safe. Why you need a babysitter, the longer you need a babysitter or the longer you need to be watched, and by a senior member of Crew Underground, the bigger the chance that somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, sorry, this isn't working out. And the easiest way to get to that stage so you can find your feet really quickly is to go in knowing what everything is and what everybody's jobs are. And it's not hard to do. Like I said, you can use the sponsors training to do it, and there's other ways to do it if you want to get into shutdown work and into the coal industry in Queensland. But like I said, at the moment, the major employers are Hardrock Underground and Exploration on the surface. So if you're trying to get in, that's the place that I'd send you. And if you type underground into Seek, you'll see all the jobs come up. Now, if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel and share it around, that would be wonderful. Thanks.